Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a pretty fun episode for you guys that I'm going to have a lot of fun with. So make sure you guys go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, so I was doing some research this morning after my normal meeting that I have with Marco, where we talk about what happened the day before. So we're doing some research. I was doing some research, finished the call, kept on doing some research. And then something told me to check our Instagram inbox. So we're going to Instagram because we get a lot of messages. People send us video requests, all these different things, right? Leave comments and all of that. So we went in there and I saw a message from one of our viewers asking us to check out a particular video about Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless on Undisputed. And funny enough, that video, I had seen the title of it. I saw the video on YouTube, but I never clicked on it. I didn't get a chance to actually to watch that video. I don't know. I just never got a chance to watch it. So I began to watch the video. And at the very end of this video that our viewer sent to us, Shannon Sharpe said something out of anger that surprised me. And funny enough, our viewer told us to really focus in on that particular part. He said, focus on the video at the latter towards the end of it. So before we play what Shannon Sharpe actually said, we want to give you guys some context. Essentially, what they were arguing was basically Skip Bayless saying that he feels as if LeBron James is overrated, and Skip threw out that notion he basically threw out that notion, and he said that he believes that Phil Jackson shares the same sentiment because, as y'all know, Jeannie Buss is consulting with Phil Jackson, and Phil Jackson recently came out and said, according to reports, that he wants LeBron James to be traded. So that's really the backdrop of this conversation. So before we go too far, we want to play what Shannon Sharpe had to say at the end, because it was a pretty heated argument that they were having. So I want you guys to pay attention and listen carefully to what he had to say, and then we're going to come back here and react to it. So take a listen to that.
How did he melt down against the Boston Celtics in 2010 when they're up 2-1? How did he melt down against the Dallas Mavericks in 2011 in the finals? How did he melt down in games 4, 5, and 6? I've never seen anything like it before. Jordan melted down none. Never.
Whether he melted down or not, it still took him 8, 9 years to reach the NBA Finals. So this notion that Jordan was going to the finals in his second and third year is just not true. But what you also fail to realize, you keep saying, so how was Paul Pierce doing against LeBron? How many finals did Paul Pierce, how many Eastern Conference finals did Paul Pierce get to before KG and before Ray Allen?
I don't care about Paul Pierce.
Of course you don't care, because it broke your argument.
Phil Jackson shares my view of LeBron James. Not that he got it from me, but he's always had that view, overrated. So he's telling Jeannie,
how the hell is LeBron James overrated?
37 years of age, and what are you doing, Jeannie? Because if the NBA at large is rating him highly, then what we're not talking about right now, what package could you get for LeBron?
Hold on.
If you could tell me what the package is, I might say, do it.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you who's overrated, Phil Jackson coaching. When you have 5 of the top 75 players, you might have coached 3 of the top 10 players all time, Shaq, Kobe, and Michael. And you keep talking. So if Phil was so great, go somewhere else and win. Build a championship team with the Knicks. But he got Michael. Okay, he's the GOAT. How hard was it to win with him?
Now, what he said comes as no surprise to me whatsoever. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not surprised about this at all. I believe Shannon Sharpe has always felt that Michael Jordan is the greatest player in the history of the sport. I always believe he felt that way. And in 2012, the tweet is out there. Shannon Sharpe himself, let me see if I can pull up the tweet, because in 2012, he himself said it with his own 2 lips, that he said that, Michael Jordan is basically the greatest player of all time. So we're going to pull it up here, and this is the tweet. It says, greatest basketball players of all time, God, Air Jordan, Kobe, in that order, #go Lakers. So as you can see, he said that on March 12th, he said that on March 11th, 2012, right? So that's when he said that. So he said that Michael Jordan is the greatest player. That's what he said in 2012. Now, what is astonishing about that quote is that just 7 years later, in 2017, I want to show you guys Shannon Sharpe's top 10 NBA players of all time, and then we're going to continue the video. So basically, this is Shannon Sharpe's top 10 players of all time in 2017. Let me read them off. Number 1, he has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 2, he has Michael Jordan. Number 3, he has LeBron James. Number 4, he has Wilt Chamberlain. Number 5, he has Magic Johnson. Number 6, Bill Russell. Number 7, Larry Bird. Then, of course, at number 8, he has Tim Duncan. And number 9, he has Oscar Robinson. And number 10, he had or has whatever, Kobe Bryant. So in a 5-year window, as y'all can see, a lot changed with Shannon Sharpe's list. Now, here's the most astonishing thing about his top 10. 9 out of the top 10 players in his top 10 have all been retired. All of them. The only current player or active player in his top 10 is LeBron James. So my question is, if these guys have been retired, what caused them to move around so much? How did they move all over the place like that if most of them, their legacies were already set in stone? How did they all move around? And then, of course, in 2000, and I believe it was in October 2021, he now changed his top 2. So for those of you who missed his top 2, it's basically a 10-second clip. Take a listen to who Shannon Sharpe now has in his top 2.
But for me, my Mount Rushmore is what they have. That's the top 4 players. But I would put LeBron at number 1. I put Jordan at 2.
So as y'all heard, now his top 2 consist of LeBron James is number 1, and number 2, he has Michael Jordan. Basically, what you see here is a bunch of flip-flop. Now, Shannon Sharpe, I just recently found out he said it on his show when he was talking to Michael Blackson on, Club Shay Shay. He said that he found out he did some research and he's 90% Nigerian. Even though Shannon Sharpe is Nigerian, I still got to tell you what I think, right? Still got to tell you what I think. So, if you had Kareem ahead of Jordan in 2017, how did he end up behind Michael Jordan in 2021? Help me on, how does it work? How does Kareem go from number 1 to number 3? Kareem has been retired. I can understand if you move LeBron. So basically what I understood from Shannon Sharpe's list is that the only person his list has been moving for is to benefit LeBron James. And I think Charles Barkley was right. I recently listened to him on the Pivot podcast. I listened to the entire episode. And he said that he found out early into his career on TV that a lot of people come on TV and just pretty much say what they think is going to get ratings. He was surprised to find that out, that a lot of people just say what they think people want to hear. It's going to create a good argument. And that's what I think is happening here. I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe thinks that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan, nor Kobe Bryant. I don't believe, I really don't believe that. You had Kobe in your top 3 in 2012. Top 3, right? Kobe had won all 5 of his championships by the end of 2010. Since 2010, LeBron went on to win 2 more championships. So you're telling me those 2 championships move LeBron all the way up to number 1? And it dropped Kobe from being number 2 or 3 to 10? Well, how did Kobe move all the way from 2 to 10? What happened? How did that happen? How did that happen? Y'all help me make sense of it. How did it happen? How did he go from 2 to 10? His legacy was already set in stone. How did that happen? How did Kareem, because some people could say, well, the reason Kobe Bryant moved from 2 to 10 was that because towards the end of his career, he tore his Achilles at the age of 34 and his numbers really dropped down. Okay, good, fine. I'll grant you that. So that's why he moved. Great. So how did Kareem move from? So how did Kareem move from number 1 to number 3 then? What, did he come out of retirement, tear his Achilles, and then, what are we talking about? Or did Oscar Robinson or Larry Bird or Magic Johnson, how did they all of a sudden get ahead of Kobe? Did they come out and play some games? Did they win some championships in the last 8 years that many of us are unaware of? How did that happen? How did it happen? How did Jordan drop? How? None of that, listen, none of it makes any sense. Are you telling me? So help me understand something. Let me get this straight. In 2017, you had Jordan as what? Let me just pull it up here. 2017, you had Jordan as the 2nd greatest player of all time. And you had LeBron James in number 3. So let me get this straight. So you're telling me 2 years later, 3 years later, when LeBron won his championship in the Orlando bubble against the Miami Heat, the 5th seed Miami Heat, that was what made you say, you know what? I think this guy's better than both. I think he's better than Kareem and Jordan. What? So to the viewer that sent us that video, I think Shannon Sharpe just had a moment, as they say, as the viewer said, when people are angry, they tell you the truth. He was angry and he told you the truth. Jordan is I don't believe Shannon. I don't believe it. There isn't an argument. There isn't an argument. And why are all these players moving around if they retired? How did Kobe drop to 10? Somebody help me understand. Somebody help me make sense of it. Because y'all are going to say if Kobe had his career got worse towards the end of the year, and then so those other guys, how did they end up moving up? What did they do? Did they come out of retirement and play again? Please help me understand. Help me understand. Let's make sense of it together. There is no sense.